Another method for automating curriculum is when you already have some tasks and you want to decide what is the best way to sequence them. These can be based on learning progress. There are tasks ordered based on the agent's performance improvements, like we've been seeing. Or we could just have some predefined difficulty metric that we use to sequence the tasks. But as we found, mostly tailoring the task to the policies seems to work well for most approaches. Automatic curriculum graph generation for RL agents is a method proposed to represent a curriculum as a directed acyclic graph, like we showed earlier. Here they use metrics such as transfer potential task, and they use this to perform a task grouping and sequencing. The transfer potential helps them evaluate the knowledge transfer benefits between tasks, and this helps to guide how we sequence the tasks. And this basically eliminates the need for manual domain expertise while sequencing the tasks. Another popular approach, especially in using training RL agents from simulation to real world applications, is domain randomization, where this involves varying environmental parameters to expose the agent to a wide range of scenarios. And this helps in generalization, where the more scenarios that the agent sees, the better it generalizes to noise in its model.
So we saw domain randomization in the context of transfer learning, or better transfer learning. What would be the sequence of tasks here, though?
So we can see here an example of one. So here they want to enhance robot learning for context-rich manipulation tasks. This is basically in industrial robots where they have a lot of contact. When you have a robot trying to be in contact with something, it has to be gentle. There could be a lot of noise. There could be a lot of different surfaces. There's a lot that could be different than what you trained on in simulation. So it does, the trained model that you use needs to generalize well to different conditions so that the grasping still works as expected. And here that's what they showed, where they were able to show 86% improvement in industrial insertion tasks. That's using a robotic arm to insert like screws into specific shaped holes, like maybe a square or a star. So they showed that their approach performed 86% better than baseline approaches, as the policy was trained in simulation using domain randomization. So by adding
86, I think, percent success rate.
86% success rate. Yes.
I'm not sure what the baseline is.
The base, it's not an 86% improvement. It's an 86% success, which is a significant improvement over the baseline.
Okay.
Yes. Finally, there are also goal condition RL. These are specific to goal-based environments where your target task can be defined in terms of a goal state that needs to be reached, and you have a metric which can estimate the distance from the current states that you've goals that you've achieved to the target goal that you want to achieve. So these goals can be intrinsic goals generated for self-improvement or to encourage exploration, or they can be extrinsically set by a user to predefine a target task in an environment. A popular approach for this is a hindsight experience replay, which improves RL efficiency in goal-based environments, especially in sparse reward environments. This is very useful because in sparse reward environments, you do not receive a learning signal until you take a lot of random actions and then finally reach the goal state. But what hindsight experience replay does is, even when it reaches states where it doesn't receive a reward feedback, if it's not a goal state, it relabels it as a goal state for maybe some tasks that exist, and it treats it as a success instead of a failure, so that it can learn from it, and gradually this leads to the generation of a curriculum of goals, which initially are easy to learn and gradually move closer and closer to our target goal, leading to an implicit generation of a curriculum. Other experience replay approaches, such as prioritized experience replay, also implicitly form such curriculums, but instead of focusing on the goals, they focus on TD error. And these were also successfully tried on real-world robotic arms. These are popular goal-based environments like the fetch robot arm and the adroit hand. The HER has also shown promising results for a fetch robotic arm in the real world. So although there are all these different approaches to generate a curriculum, they still provide very limited optimality guarantees. This is because a lot of the approaches may be based on some heuristics which do not generalize to most conditions, so do not provide any guarantees. And
what is optimality guarantees though? Optimality with respect to what?
Here we're talking about optimality with respect to our target.
Okay, the optimality of the policy, convergence to the optimal policy in the target task.
Yes, so in curriculum learning, we would say we've learned the optimal policy if we've learned the optimal policy for our target task.
Right, but then, okay, so let me ask you this question.
Mm-hmm.
If the optimality is with respect to the target task, and let's say that I have an RL algorithm that guarantees convergence to the optimal solution, and I'm solving a sequence of tasks, but at the end, I'm solving the target task. So is it not still guaranteed to converge on the optimal policy just because I moved through all of the intermediate tasks?
No, this is not necessarily the case, because that's the guarantee that is missing in curriculum learning, where they do see the policy's current performance, and they do generate maybe a task which would be suitable for it, but it's not guaranteed that this is possible. That is, as the third point says, balancing task difficulty progression often lacks formal guarantees.
Okay, so this is what I'm asking. So the optimality is with respect to the learning sequence?
No, the optimality is with respect to the target.
Right.
We say that the learning sequence is not optimal if we do not learn the optimal policy.
Okay.
And the learning sequence, it's hard to say that the learning sequence is optimal in most of these approaches, because it's hard to provide formal guarantees that the difficulty in progression between two tasks is something that is manageable, that we provide a guarantee that the policy trained on one task will definitely be able to learn the optimal policy for the next task, given the progression and difficulty between the tasks.
Right,
it's
so
hard
this
to
is
provide that
more
guarantee.
heuristic. You're saying,
Yes.
like, you learn to throw a stone, you'll probably be able to throw a rock.
Yes.
But this is more on the intuitive level.
Correct.
You're saying the theoretical levels guarantees are missing. Okay.